Bonjour French 1. Today's video is all about what's known in the English language as subject pronouns. Now you probably recognize the English versions of these words as being words that you use all the time. Words like I, you, he, she, it, we, they, those kinds of things. There's a couple different ones here on our French chart, but for the most part you use subject pronouns, you just don't have to think about it. The key now is to learn what those same words are in French. So the word for I is je, and you use it of course when you're talking about yourself. The word you in French, and by the way I'll pause so you have time to repeat, is tu, and you of course use it when you are talking to another person. The word he in French is il. You use it when you are talking about a boy or a male, of course. The word she in French is elle. You use it when you are talking about a girl or a female. This is a different one though. This is on. On in the French language is kind of like the word one, as in one would need to go to educanon.com if one wanted to watch the video. You use it when you're talking about people in general. It's kind of like the word we, but probably a better way of translating it to the English language is one, and we don't use it very often. The word we in French is nous. You use it, of course, when you're talking about a group of people that also includes yourself. The word vous in French is a little bit tricky because it actually has two meanings. It technically means you plural, as in when you are talking to a group of people. I like to translate that as y'all. I know it's not grammatically correct English, but that's the easiest way for me to remember it, and being different than the word you. In English, technically we say you, whether it's you and we're talking to one person, or y'all or you and we're talking to multiple people. In French though, this word vous can also be used when you're talking to one person formally. If you remember, you speak to somebody formally if it's an adult or somebody you're not really familiar with. So it can either mean you for a group of people, as in y'all, or it can mean you, one adult that I'm not related to. The word ils is the word they, and it covers groups of people when you're talking about they did this and they did that. If the they that you're referring to is either all boys, kind of comes from the word he, right? Or if you have a mixture of boys and girls, it still is ils. If, however, you have just girls in the group, then you're going to use elles. And again, it technically means they, but they have two different versions of the word they based on whether you're referring to they, a group of boys, or they, a group of girls. And if you're talking about a group of girls, then you need to use elles. Now, a shorter version of this, or the way you'll usually see it set up, is in a chart like this. So you're writing the exact same thing, it's just a much more condensed version, but this is typically how you will see it set up in class whenever we start doing verb conjugations and things like that. One new thing though that I do need to point out on this that I didn't point out on the screen before is this J apostrophe. If you're using the word je to talk about yourself and say I in a sentence, but the word that comes after that word in the sentence starts with a vowel, they will drop the letter E off of the je and put an apostrophe there and connect the two words and make a conjunction. It's really strange for us as English speakers, but just be aware if you ever see a J apostrophe, it's just the same as the word je.